y'all used to hear Charles Marsala all the time. He crashed my radio show tonight. He barged in the door. He barged in here. He begged me to be on. So you see it. Look, this is the petition I keep telling you guys about. That if you sign it, we get the mayor out early. How viable is this still?
Well, deadlines to get it on the state ballot are passed, but the city council still, we're putting a lot of pressure on them. We got over 2,000 people that signed it, Bill, and I want to thank you for all you've done. And
how many people?
Over 2,000.
I thought it was more than that.
On the mayoral.
Okay.
About 2,500, really, yes. So, and on the monument deal, we're at about 4,700. So we're about halfway on the monument deal. We're making a lot of progress, and again, thank you for what you're doing there. The issue right now in the mayoral situation is that right now they're going to stay in office until June 1st of next year, which is the first day of hurricane season.
Here's what you didn't hear because you're partying tonight, is that I said that the same politicians and the leaders who got us in trouble this hurricane season with the pumps not being ready and the storm drains not being cleaned out are the same politicians that are going to be getting us ready for next hurricane season.
Well, and that's what I want to add to that picture that this is the gavel I have in my hand. On the first day of hurricane season, I'm the outgoing mayor and outgoing council member, and you're the new guy, and I say, here's the gavel, and by the way, there's a hurricane in the Gulf. You got all your people you want to put in place. It just, as we said, it's the smart inauguration.
Everybody's scrambling.
You might have been saying, hey, I got this person I want to put in place, but you got to wait 5 months to take office. And you take office on the first day of hurricane season? I mean, that's just ludicrous. I don't know if these guys, as city council, has any fiduciary responsibility to the city should this collapse and come June 8th, there's a flood, and the new mayor is not prepared because they had withheld the inauguration.
I had said that the citizens of New Orleans just need to start flooding with lawsuits, suing the city, suing whoever they can. Somebody posted on the Facebook Live that you can't sue government. But I mean, there's got to be.
I do want to. There are some times you can, and Robert E. Lee's son sued the government and won Arlington back. The government had confiscated Lee's estate.
I read about that. They confiscated it because he didn't pay his taxes, but his wife was set to pay the taxes, but they wouldn't accept it from a woman.
That's right, and it was like $80. So they said you're delinquent. We're confiscating the land. They did.
Started burying Union soldiers on it.
They did, and the guy that started burying them actually used to work under Lee when Lee was in the Army in St. Louis.
All right. So what else you got?
All right. So I had a great drive. I wanted to say, we're working hard on the Save Nola Heritage deal. We're at 4,700 signatures. We're shooting for the November ballot. We really need people to keep moving for that and helping us get there. I did go up to, on October 22nd, I'll be on national news, Fox and Friends Live with Frank Stewart, talking about Andrew Jackson. We just had that protest at Jackson Monument. There's so much to Andrew Jackson, what he did. And if you're in New Orleans, walk by the monument, you'll see the Union must be preserved. And that was written during the Civil War because that was his words. And in 1832, South Carolina said they weren't going to collect a tariff. And Jackson was ready to send in federal troops, and that's when Henry Clay worked out the Great Compromise. So this history of stuff goes on really to 1816 with the tariff issues in the South. But I learned a lot about Jackson there. We're working on this, and I really would encourage people. What I also learned this week was Robert E. Lee saved St. Louis, which is taking down a monument. That came out recently. He was dispatched because the Mississippi River was moving away from the city of St. Louis and moving towards the Illinois side. And that port of St. Louis, a big sandbar had evolved, and it was becoming an island, and actually all the docks, you couldn't get to them. It took Lee 3 years to build a dam system in the Mississippi River to save St. Louis in 1837 to 1840. And that allowed a lot of traffic to come down to New Orleans. Both cities enjoyed what was called the boom era and established both as major cities after the War of 1815. And yet we're taking down his monument. But this man did so many other things in his life, and it's a shame that we're getting rid of our heritage, which we really emphasize with the concept of SaveNolaHeritage.org. And again, thank you for all you've done.
Perfect. Awesome. That's all you got today?
You said 5 minutes, brother. I'm happy to work with you.
I just like having you come on. But but actually, you're giving me a great segue because it goes with something else I wanted to say tonight, and thank you very much. which is the people don't want to know the truth. You know, I mean, we keep putting the facts out, not just on this radio show. The facts are all over the place. They're on Facebook. I mean, everybody's talking about it. You know, the people like Black Lives Matter and you know, and the Antifa people, they don't know history. They don't care about history. They don't even study. They have no clue to what they're protesting, other than it's a financial opportunity. Some it's a chance just to just to destroy things. Some of them it's just a
job.
It's a job.
They get paid to protest and take stuff down. And if you look at Lee, Beauregard, and Davis were all wounded in the Mexican-American War, which saved Mexico from coming through Texas into Louisiana.
Right.
I mean, so these guys did all this other stuff, and they want just to take everything down, start over.
But it goes back to they don't want to know the facts.
No.
They really don't. You know, a lot of liberals and a lot of these people that are fighting against these monuments or whatever the case may be, maybe they're fighting against Trump or something. Whatever the case may be, they don't want to know the facts. They don't want to know the truth. They just want a constant reassurance that what they believe is the truth.
And
that's all they want.
And on my way to Nashville, I stopped in Decatur, Alabama, which we have Decatur Street here. They've got Decatur, Alabama, and they have a whole thing there about who Stephen Decatur was. And we do nothing here. Yeah. I mean, it's weird. We have this city that's got the best historic district in the country, and we're doing nothing to educate people here.
Right. You know, it's not that a lot of these people, you know, there's some of them that actually know the facts, but those facts don't correspond with their ideology.
Their narrative is what
their narrative. Exactly.
Doesn't fit the narrative.
Exactly. So now they, you know, if they accepted, you know, the facts, then they can't tear down monuments. They have no excuse to tear down monuments. They have no excuse to tear down American history. I just don't understand why governments aren't doing more to stop some of these people or pursue these people that are vandalizing our history in this country.
Well, and somebody posted, when I posted about what Lee did, somebody said, well, Charles, your family must have owned slaves. I said, no, my family were slaves because we came here in 1910 from Sicily, and most Sicilians had been captured by the Moors and made into slavery in Africa. So, but you defend it, and you're called a racist, or you must have had slaves.
Right. And we're going to go on more on this another time, but Charles, it goes back to people, you know, and again, you know, these Antifa, the Black Lives Matter, these liberals that want to fight about something, they want to believe that slavery only happened in America, and there was a war over it, and everybody in the South is racist, and that's only slavery existed. They don't want to accept the fact that slavery went on before that and enslaved more white people than black people, and they don't want. And I'm not boo-hooing. Hey, we had more. I'm just saying the fact is, it's not about racism. It's not about slavery. It's about hate. We in America have to unite on getting rid of hate in this country. And Black Lives Matter, the Antifa people, they're hateful groups. KKK, they're hateful groups. White supremacists, hateful groups. They're less than 3% of our population. We have to unite in America to fight hate, no matter who it's coming from. And if we can fight hate and unite against it, we can get rid of it, and we can unite on things like compassion, like we're doing with Houston. Then we got a shot in this country to unite under something that's going to save this country and save our history, and teach people to be more accepting of the history that brought us here. Because remember, the Civil War, no matter regardless of what you think it's fought over, kept our country united, and that's what we need to do. William Wallis for America. You can like me on Facebook at William Wallis for America. See me on YouTube at William Wallis for America. Twitter, Proud Americans or Wallis for America. Stay tuned next week.